I kind of look crazy right now, but I low-key like it. Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I just wanted to film a formal intro for this video to make things a little more clear. So I sat down with y'all while I was undoing my hair one night, and I just kind of spewed, basically ranted a bunch of my thoughts and feelings about being home for the summer, some revelations I've had lately, mental health stuff. So I do kind of want to put a trigger warning on this video that I do mention things such as PTSD and social anxiety that I've been dealing with, but the point in this video is not to complain at all. I'm so thankful that I'm able to come home for the summer and be with my family and everything, but I just wanted to give a more realistic viewpoint, I guess, on everything that I've been going through, because I feel like not only myself, but probably other people who go home for summer feel the same way, and this video might help because I know that I'm not alone. I know there's other people that definitely feel this way, and so I wanted to make a video that was real and honest about all those emotions, feelings, the process of coming home for winter break, summer break, and the difference from going from being in college and being completely independent to coming home and now having to like be under your parents' roof again and being back in a small town. So I talk about a bunch of different things. I would encourage you guys to read the description, but I really didn't do much editing on this video. I wanted it to feel more like a podcast, which I am planning on making a podcast, so it'll be fun for me to do more sit down conversations like this, because I feel like there's so many things about college that I want to get real with y'all about that I can't really do on YouTube through a video. So I feel like a podcast is a better place for that. So if y'all are interested, you should definitely check out my podcast once it comes out. But that is this video. I just wanted to give a preface that this video was literally me just ranting and being 100% real, raw, and honest with y'all. And I also just hope that anyone else who feels the same way can relate. My DMs are always open. You can always comment if you agree or disagree or whatever, you just want to talk to me. My DMs are always open on Instagram. I'll put it in the description. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you next time. At first, I'm always like super excited to come home because I'm just like, oh my god, yay, like I can't wait to see Rocky, I can't wait to see like my parents and just like all my friends, and I can't wait to be home. And then what always happens to me is the first week is literally hell week. Like, it's terrible. I feel like at first I'm always like super excited, and then what happens is I get super depressed, and basically the first week is always the worst because I get home. Usually what happens is like, for some reason I come back and it's like all my friends and I will literally come back the same day, and then they're all busy. Like, I'll text before and be like, oh, when do you all come back? And we'll all be like, oh yeah, I come back this day. Oh really, me too. Oh really, me too. And it's like everybody comes back the same day, and it's like awesome, like we'll all be here, but then nobody really makes plans from there. And then what happens is I come home, I spend like the first couple of days with my parents, just kind of catching up with my fam. And then after that, I'm like, okay, time to see my friends. And all my friends from home are out with their other friends. And they're already like planning, having parties like with their other friends, like small little get togethers, whatnot, like going out to brunch, having sleepovers. Like, they immediately are doing stuff with their other friends. And I'm always like, wait, what? Did I like miss something? Like, last I checked, nobody had any plans. It was just, oh yeah, we're all coming back the same day. So I'm always like kind of getting FOMO, I guess. But also, to be fair, like the people that they're normally like hanging out with, I'm not friends with, so I don't get FOMO about that. It's just like, I'm like, oh shoot, should I have made plans quicker? And this brings me to one of my realizations that I had. Also, do not mind my hair at all right now while we're getting real personal right now because I'm taking out my hair while talking to y'all. But do not mind it at all. But that brings me to another realization I had. Okay, here's the thought.
I don't have a best friend. I don't. And it kind of bothers me. Like, I don't know how I feel about it. Like, sometimes it really bothers me, and I'm like, it sucks. It sucks. Like, I remember in high school, I literally was having like a breakdown. I was so depressed, like, so depressed. Probably, like, other than my senior year of high school, that was probably like the worst mental state I was ever in, was like, I think it was like end of freshman year of high school, beginning of sophomore year, like around there. But I remember my mom, and my mom was like, do you want to talk to somebody? Like, you should talk to somebody. And she's like, who's like your closest friend to talk to? And I was like, no one. And she was like, oh, come on. Like, there's got to be someone. And I was like, no, like, you don't understand. There's no one to talk to. And then she was like, what about this person? And I'm like, no, like, we're not close. Like, yeah, she's one of my like best friends, but like she doesn't know this side of me. She doesn't know like all these issues that I have and like stuff like that. Like, we don't talk about that. And then she was like, okay, what about this person? Like, you guys are really close. Like, you've known her long. And I'm like, no, like, I would not talk to her about this. Like, she would understand, but she wouldn't be able to empathize and like respond the way that I would want and like need in the moment. And so my mom was like, well, like, we're always here. Like, family's always here if you want to talk. And I was like, yeah, I know that. Like, I appreciate it, but I don't have a best friend. And I feel like it also hits me a lot more whenever I come home because everybody else has a best friend. I feel like to me, the concept of a best friend is more of a social term. You know what I mean? Where it's like you can have a boyfriend or a girlfriend or a significant other, a partner who can also mean multiple different things to you. Like, they could also be your best friend. They could also be like your lover. They could literally just be like your soulmate. Like, they could be a bunch of different things to you, but like society's term for labeling your relationship with them is like boyfriend or girlfriend. Like, that's just how it goes. I feel like in terms of society, having like a best friend who knows everything about you, like your emotions, your likes, your dislikes, your deepest, darkest secrets, they literally know you. Like, if they were tasked with like make another carbon copy of Deneo, they would be able to like go to the computer and be like, boo, and get it right. And I don't have that. I don't have a person who's like that. I don't even have that in my family. I feel like the closest thing is probably my brother. It's sad, honestly, because I feel like society puts so much pressure on having a partner. No matter if you're straight, transgender, like bisexual, whatever, you like non binary, society puts so much stress on people to have a partner, whether it's a romantic partner, a best friend, a platonic like soulmate, or like a romantic soulmate. Society always is like, you need to have a partner. You just need to have a partner. And so I feel like living in a society that constantly, and by society, I mean like just the world in general, I feel like maybe more specifically, I guess, the US, because that's where I live, but I can't really speak for other countries, but I feel like it's mostly the same. It's like there's just so much stress in media to have like a best friend. Like, I feel like my whole entire like Instagram reel feed is like pictures to take with your best friend, like BFF pictures, like things to do with your best friend, like aesthetic trios, aesthetic duos, power duos, all this type of stuff. It's all like partnerships. It's never anyone like by themselves. You know what I mean? Like, there's just so much stress on that. I think of like situations where people will like come up to me, like older adults that my parents are friends with, and be like, oh, like, do you have a boyfriend? And I'll be like, no. And then they'll be like, oh, okay, like, fine, not everybody does have like a romantic partner, whatever. And then people will be like, who are your best friends? Where are they going to school? Where are your best friends going? And I'll be like, oh, yeah, like my two closest friends are going here and here for school. So I feel like I have like a couple of people that casually I'll be like, oh yeah, they're my best friend, or like my best friend from home, because it's just easier to say than being like, oh, my really good friend from home. I don't know, like, it's just easier to be like, oh, my best friend. But I feel like I don't actually have a best friend. And it makes me sad because it's like, I don't know if that's like an Aquarius trait, because I think about, and I'm not even that big into astrology, but I just think about like all the other people I know in my life who are Aquariuses, I also am an Aquarius. Like all the other Aquariuses I know in my life do not have like a best friend, or I would say that they don't. Like they might have someone where they're like, no, that's my ride or die, like that's my twin flame, that's the Mary Kate to my Ashley. I feel like they may be like, no, I do have a best friend and this is who it is. But I feel like Aquariuses I know are very independent. I'm a very independent person. But at the same time, I'm also a very group oriented person in the sense of like, literally, one of my biggest fears in life, besides death, is being alone and like not having anyone around me and just like not having friends, not having family. Like, that is my biggest fear. So, as much as like Aquariuses are independent, they obviously also are like really social people and like outgoing people and like to be around people, but they also like their space and independence and alone time. So I'm like, it could just be like that's who I am, is just very free spirited. I feel like that's also what's so hard with coming home is like I have a bunch of people that I'm close with. Like I said, my closest friends from home. Like I have those people, but it also sucks because it's like obviously you prioritize people that you want to see when you come home because you don't have a lot of time. And I feel like a lot of times what happens is I'm not a priority for people. Like, plain and simple. I'm not a priority for people on their list. I feel like I come home and like all my closest friends are equal priority. There's not like one person where I'm like, I need to see you, because I don't have a best friend. And what also sucks is like the people that I would say are closest to being my best friends, I feel like they have other people that are their best friends. And it's like I want to hang out with all these people, but they clearly have people that they're closer with. And so I just kind of have to wait on the back burner until they're like free or up to talking to me after they've caught up with other people. I feel like that also makes it being hard coming home because it's like at first I'm always super excited to like see all my friends and catch up, and then it's like I get here and I feel like I'm not getting that same like energy back from a lot of people, and there's nothing wrong with that. Like I understand it because I'm like, I'm sure if I had a best friend I'd be like, oh, you're first on my list for like who I want to see. Like I totally get that. That's just like a human thing. It's like you prioritize certain people and there's no issues with that, and I'm not gonna like shy away from that and be like, oh no, I'm not prioritizing this person over you. Um no, like I'm sure I've done that to other people. It honestly just kind of sucks. Like, to be completely frank, my point in saying this is like the first week I'm here I'm always depressed because it's like I try and text people and be like, hey, do you want to do this? Because obviously, like, some of the only things that keep me happy while I'm here in Connecticut is like hanging out with my friends, seeing my family, and just like chilling at home. Like, that's pretty much it. And so it's just very hard when like I text a bunch of people and I'll be like, hey, like, I know you're home and I'm home. Like, let me know when you're free. And people won't respond, or they'll be like, oh, okay, I'm free this day. And then in the meantime, they're like hanging out with all these other people and like spending every day with them and like prioritizing them over myself. And it just really hurts because it's like, here I am thinking that these are my best friends or my closest friends. And then it's like, they clearly have other people that are their best friends. So then I just feel like I'm the dummy because I'm like, Danae, it's so obvious. Like they post all the time on Instagram with them. They like spend every day that they're here with them. Ugh, it's just frustrating feeling like you're not a priority in people's lives. It's really frustrating because I feel like my friends in college don't do that, because I feel like most of my friends in college don't have a best friend. And I don't know if that's just because of COVID. Like, none of us have really had a chance to, like, get super close with anyone. I feel like I know a couple of people who I go to college with who I feel like if I were to tell them this, I feel like they would totally understand. Because they seem to give me that same vibe of, like, they don't really feel like they have a best friend either. It's like they come home and see their hometown friends, but none of them are, like, super duper close. But I just don't like being here, mainly because of that. Like, I feel like I don't have any close friends. So it's like, if I'm not hanging out with friends, then I'm literally just at home. And it's like, obviously you get sick of like your family every now and again. You don't want to always be home. And then I feel like it's also difficult just because of how many like experiences I've had in my town that are negative. Going on to like being here and like the PTSD, like it's really bad. I'm starting to realize that I have really bad social anxiety because of like what happened. Cause I just remember speaking to my therapist about it and I was like, I don't know why. Like, I just got so anxious when I saw them in public, and my therapist was like, it's literally PTSD. Like, these people are connected to a traumatic experience that you had to go through, and unfortunately they are now like a triggering point for you, like, you know, like trigger words. It's almost like they physically them being, and it's like they may not even be doing something. They may, like, I may not even talk to them. I may just see them at the grocery store, not even talk to them, not even interact with them, and it's like just seeing them across the grocery store triggers something in me, and I get anxious. I like get nervous. I want to run and just like leave the grocery store, and sometimes I do. I think one time I did, and I like waited in my car until I like calmed down and then went back in. So it's like, you know, it's very stressful because I feel like my parents were very much like, try not to be down and like try and get out and actually do stuff. And I literally just had to like explain to my mom, like, you don't understand, like these simple tasks like scare me because I don't want to run into these people, or I don't want to go back to the place where I saw these people, because even like the places that I saw them can be triggering. Literally, like seeing certain people from high school just at the grocery store, I will literally come home and have like a nightmare about them. Um, and I'll like wake up either like crying or just sweating and I can't go back to sleep. It's a whole thing. It's a mess. And the reason I'm telling you guys this is just because I'm trying to explain like what it's like for me to be back home, because I feel like there are probably other people who feel the same way, where it's like their hometown for them is simply that. It's their hometown. It's just where they're from. It's not like, you know, their city. It's not the place that they love to be. It's simply like where they're from and where they grew up. Like, that's it. It's not like anything special. It's not anything like super sentimental. It's more just like nostalgic and a memory. And I feel like that's what my hometown in Connecticut is becoming to me, is like, I don't like it here. Like, if I had to choose like where I would live, I would not live here. Like, I don't even think I would come back here and like raise kids here, because I'm just like, there's so many like bad memories that outweigh the good, or just like mediocre memories that aren't like, they're not happy, but they're also not sad. They're just like, that happened. Like, I literally think about it, and there are probably, I mean, since being at UW, there's definitely more than this, but there's probably like 3 moments in my life that I can think of off the top of my head in all my like 19 years of living that I felt the happiest. Like, literally euphoric, where I was like questioning if this was real life, and like thanking God and the universe for like putting me here and all that type of stuff, and like wishing the moment or the day would never end. Like, 3 moments. Like, since I've been at UW, there's definitely more than that, because I feel like almost every other day I'm like, what the heck? Like, I'm here at UW. Like, this is my life. These are my friends. This is where I go to school. Like, I freaking love it here. I love my life. Whereas I feel like I'm here and I'm like, I hate my life. Like, I don't like it here. I don't like my house. I don't like my town. I don't like the people. There's very small moments while I'm here that I'm like, oh my God, I love it here. Which I feel like never happens over the summer. Like, if anything, it's like a small moment where it's like, wow, I had a really good day today. And then other than that, like, it goes back to just being like, another day, just another day. That's how I feel about like being here in Connecticut. So I'm like, oh, let me pretend that I'm so happy to be here and like see all my friends, when in reality, there's probably like 3 people, 4 people max that I'm like, oh yeah, like once, you know, my parents moved to Georgia, like I'll still talk to them. But like other than that, I'm like, no. And I feel like because my parents are moving, it's also just very hard being here, is because I'm like, you know, because my mom was saying to me, she's like, Janae, you know, it's your last summer here, like try and enjoy it. And I just was like, I'd love to try and enjoy it, but it's really hard to do that when we're starting off with, people not wanting to make plans and making time for other people and prioritizing other people. I'm realizing like who my true friends are and who people that I want to like continue to hang out with are, and like the people who are on the same wave as me and energy as me and same like mindset as me, because I feel like when you're in a small town for so long, it's so easy to get caught up in like normalcy for your town, and like what's normal here in Connecticut and just in New England in general is very preppy. It's like you go to a school here in the East Coast, you go to a good private school, you settle down in the East Coast, you have kids in the East Coast, you work in business, or if you're a mom, you're a stay at home mom, or you do like some type of small job on the side. Literally, that's the normalcy. Like here, like literally, kids in my high school are like, yeah, I'm going to the same school that my parents went to, my sister went to, my brother went to, my cousin went to. Like, I'm going to that school. And oh, yep, I'm definitely going to stay in Connecticut and still live here after graduation. Like, I'm going to go to school in New York, but I'm going to come back here and settle down, have kids. My kids are going to go to the same high school I went to or a different high school in the state, and they're going to go to the same college, and it's all going to happen over and over again. I cannot do that. I cannot stay in one spot. It kills me. It just bothers me when people don't try and do something different. Like, I have so many friends that didn't even like apply to out of state schools because they just were like, there's no point. Like, there's no other schools. I'm like, there are 50 states in the whole entire US of A, and you don't even want to try and like go somewhere else, or like just try it. Like, I cannot deal with people who are just not like go-getters and adventurous, and I feel like I've learned quickly since graduating and just going through high school like which people are those stay-at-home people. Nothing's going to change, they don't want anything to change, they're afraid of change and things that are different. Whereas I feel like the good thing now is like most of my hometown friends, I feel like, are on the same wave as me in terms of like they want something different, they want to try new things. But will they actually do it? Now that's the true question. Whereas I feel like my friends in college that I've made are definitely the complete same wave as me. Where it's like, yes, you know what, my birthday is literally in the middle of November, but let's fly to Vegas for the weekend. Let's do it. Let's book the ticket right now. Like I feel like they're very adventurous, they're very much go getters, and I love that I've like found those people that are on the same energy as me and the same like drive as me. Like, I just feel like I've outgrown my hometown, is basically what I'm trying to say. Like, I feel like they essentially, like, the people here and my friends who still live here and probably will still live here because their parents aren't gonna move, I've just outgrown. And there's nothing wrong with that. Like, people change, people grow. I'm sorry, I'm like literally going in circles right now about topics, but this will be fun for me to edit because I'll just have to like piece a bunch of stuff together. With the best friend thing, I feel like all my closest friends know different parts of me, but none of them knows like the whole story of me. So like my analogy earlier with like the computer, if they were tasked, like if you asked one of my friends like, could you fully represent Danae? Like, they wouldn't be able to fill it in. They would not be able to fill it in. Whereas I feel like if you got all of them together as a group and put them in one room and asked them to fill it out together, they would get it spot on. So that's another thing, is like, I definitely trust certain people with more information than others. Because it's like some of my friends know like the emotional stuff. Other friends know like family stuff. Other friends know just like personal like things that have happened to me. And it's like, but none of them knows the full, like, who is Danae Lyle? Like, nobody knows that. For my own sake, it would be better to have one person who knows it all rather than having, like, a bunch of people knowing different parts. Because then it's like I said, like, if they all were to get together and have, like, a meeting, like, I'd be doomed. Because then it'd be like, oh, you know this about her? Well, I know this. And now we know this whole part of her. And I'd be, like, terrified, where it's, like, I'd rather have someone who, like, knows every like nook and cranny about me and just like keeps it to themselves. I feel like there's people in my life right now that I'm like, I could see them being like my best friend, but I also don't want to project anything because I feel like when I try too hard to like, with my friends from home to be like, oh my god, you're my best friend, like I feel like it kind of scares them off and they don't reciprocate it. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know if that's why, like, I'm no one's best friend, is because I'm just, like, so eager to have a best friend that, like, I overexert myself and then people are like, ew. Like, I don't know. It sucks, but that's just what it is. I hope to have a best friend, whether it's like platonic, romantic, I don't know, but I don't know. I really just hope I get a best friend. Because, like I said, like, my biggest fear in life is being alone. I don't want to be alone. Like, I don't like the idea of being alone. It scares me, and I just really hope I get a best friend, like someone I can share everything with, like someone I can have fun with, and someone I can also like cry with and like talk about my feelings and emotions, like someone who would be my bridesmaid. Like that's the thing is I feel like I have a very good read for people and like their energies and compatibilities. And I feel like I have a very good energy read on people where it's like I can kind of look at someone and be like, oh, we're gonna be friends. But then when it comes to me, I have no freaking clue. Which I guess makes sense because how am I supposed to read like my own energy? Like I feel like I can read other people and tell if I'm gonna get along with them, but I can't like tell like this person's gonna be my bridesmaid. I don't know if anyone else has the same experience. The reason I'm sharing this with you all is because I feel like not enough people talk about how like sometimes coming home is not the best thing for you. Like unfortunately you have to do it and it's not always fun. It's some days it's really hard for me just to get out of bed. It really is. And today I was lucky that I pushed myself and I got up and I've been vlogging all day, which has made me happy to talk to you guys and catch up. That was basically all I just wanted to say is that I'm just taking it day by day and I really just wanted to share this so that if anyone else out there feels the same way about like coming home or just going to a certain place that they don't necessarily want to be, I want you to know that you're not alone. I understand it's tough, but you will get through it. And I feel like the best thing advice I can give for anyone who is in that situation is that, today is just one day. If you didn't have a good day today, there's always tomorrow. And I know that doesn't sound like super inspirational, but it really helps me to just think like, you know what, today was one day out of many. I have tomorrow to make it up and to make it a better day. If I feel like today was really a horrible day, I'm gonna take that opportunity. And that's what I did today. But I will be sad to leave because that's usually what happens is like the first week, I hate being here. And then I slowly start to get used to being here. And then by the end, when I have to leave, I'm usually either super happy to go back, but I'm also sad because I got comfortable. So that's probably what it's going to be. Like at the end of the summer, I'll be like, I'm so excited to go back and see all my friends, but I'm also sad because I really liked it. But then I'll get to Madison and I'll be like, haha, like, see ya, sucker. I'm going to finish undoing my hair. It's 10:42. I think I'm just going to watch the rest of Hamilton while I finish undoing my hair. Thank you all so much for watching this video and sticking with me. If you're subscribed, I hope this video was somewhat coherent and understandable and made sense. And just remember, if you didn't have a good day today, tomorrow's a new day and you can have an even better one. Peace out, Girl Scouts. Bye!